Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hope you guys are doing good. All right, that first live stream was a test run. Welcome back. Welcome back, guys. Obviously, I keep changing the title until I find one that sticks. But the one thing that remains consistent throughout all of this is that I am vibe coding publicly, right? Sharing my journey, vibe coding. Okay, and everybody's journey is unique. Of course, mine. Some people are getting funded. I am purely doing this for fun and to see what's possible, right? And to stretch, right? Got a full schedule during the day, so this is the time I've allocated to do this task, and hoping y'all can join me because we're gonna look through what we've done so far, right? Yesterday, realized I had a particular problem, and I was like, what can I solve? How can I solve this? I have AI. I have this intelligent tool that I have, right? And the problem is I create these live streams, I create a video, I want to make some shorts, and I don't have the time, right? The bandwidth to do this. Not that I don't have time, but there's so many things competing for that time that if there's a way to automate that, right, then why not, right? So trying to create a shorts creator, that'll automate that portion for me, maybe help me do a little bit of review. And I want to see how effective it is against me just doing stuff manually. Of course, I can go and purchase a subscription. I can find some alternatives online, but I prefer to be to be as frugal as possible until I absolutely cannot afford to do some bespoke tool implementation for myself, right? But it is also a way to practice solving problems using AI, right? So everyone starts somewhere, and this is my journey. Ooh, feeling a little thirsty today. So I had a big day at work today. Lots of things happening. Then you come back home and you continue to invest in the things you find fun. You remain grateful, thank God for the life you have, and stay humble, and you just keep moving forward. Right? Never a dull moment. You've got to make the best of every opportunity, right? Because you only live once. And I want everyone to remember that. Be passionate. Even if you don't exactly enjoy your circumstances, make the most out of it, right? You can change your whole world with a smile, with some good music, right? Prayer helps, friendship, good food helps, right? Okay, so wanted to review this really quickly. So here's the Shorts Creator app. Yesterday we were towards the end there because I'm trying to keep these things under 2 hours, at least 1 hour. But yesterday, actually liked where the some of the results of the Shorts Creator. I basically took the recordings from my live, and then I fed it into this Shorts workflow. So the workflow is AI powered. I don't think I'm actually using Anthropic or any of those things right now. I think I'm just using a model. I think it's Whisper. Definitely a Hugging Face model that I installed, or the AI installed, right? So I'm also entering into this kind of phase, this little conundrum here, and I don't know how the other people feel, because I think the other influencers that are online are particularly just all about let's create a product, let's make as much money as we can, and so I'm trying to understand this conundrum of here's the intelligence, right? Here's the the part where humans are supposed to fit in. Here's the intellectual practice of software engineering versus the offloading of intelligence to an AI model, right? And I think the way I was able to get to the answer towards the end yesterday, for me at least, was to start thinking about vibe coding and agentic coding, especially in this in this new climate that we're in. I started to think of it as a philosophical problem, like a philosophical resolution, right? To all of this, to the idea that we are offloading intelligence. And I think the way I try to think about this new climate is I think we're pushing, we're reaching the parts of human existence where intelligence is democratized. Everyone can do anything they want to do, right? From an intelligence standpoint, because we have captured intelligence and we've stored it in neural nets, right? So if you want to do something that you couldn't do before because of some domain, you can just go to the global neural net that everyone has access to and perform the task. So the only thing now you need is a little bit of money. Hopefully it stays that way, right? And some agency and imagination. So now the race really should be, number one, these agent providers should, while they are racing to get more and more powerful agents, they should focus more on control, right? Containment, right? As much as possible. And then the race for humans then is expression. How far can we push our imagination? And then once we have created a new domain in our pursuit of what's possible, we take that as a snapshot and place it into a neural net, right? And say, automate this, I figured this out, right? That's the way I'm seeing things. So you push the boundaries of what's possible, right? And what can we build? And then hopefully you get credit for it on the way there, and then you offload that to a neural network. Right? So that's the way I've been trying to understand how to see this, right? No two problems are the same, right? And someone has solved something about what you're trying to do, right? And the only next step is how do you solve new problems? Discover those problems, ask the questions, and sometimes the only way to know the problems, the new problems, is to begin using these agents to attack the ones you never had time to, or you thought, gosh, is this worth my time? I need money, so let me focus on the things that I need to focus on now, right? So now with all of this, with this ability to move fast, right? We have compressed time so that we can so there can be very little friction to us getting our ideas out into the world. Okay, so that was a lot, right? That was a lot of spiel. Let's just get right into evaluating this shorts creator. So I'm gonna go to Python. Is it? Yeah, I think it's Python. That's the command. And I'm gonna go main.py. And of course, I am going to select I believe it's the second one. Just verify which video I am going to be using. By the way, I hope you guys are all doing good. Hope you guys are doing great. Okay, so it looks like we're going to take the second one. And we're going to proceed with this video. Do we want to burn captions into clips? I think the last time I did captions, they were horrible, right? So I also added some things. I don't know if you can see this. Is this very visible? Yep, pretty visible. It's the Claude code ones that are not so visible, like the Claude terminals. I can't wait to begin to work on the Arc. What am I talking about? On the Jarvis tool, and that I think would be super exciting. And of course, shout out to I forget his name, but I recently watched his videos, some of his lives, and basically the creator of BridgeMind, and he's doing some pretty good work. Really the inspiration behind this new direction. Okay, all right, so I have this editing style. So what I was just doing there was starting up my Claude instances. So I have an editing style, right, that says word boundary trim plus silence jump cuts. This is recommended, or just the standard, which is just no silence removal. I want to try that type edit and see what that gets us. So now we're using, so the last time we were trying to figure out why it wasn't using the GPUs, and it turns out we needed a toolkit that the DLL Kublis or Kublis required to use the GPU for portions of this workflow tool. So of course, I'm not a Python expert, but this is really crazy how this is done in about an hour, right? And I'm going to test it out. I'm going to see just how effective this is over my my manual effort to create these short videos. And I might just have to review them really quickly before uploading, right? And I'm looking forward to doing a automation of the upload, but I want to first test a few things, right? But this is pretty good, right? And I want to really compare the retention rates, and if it's something that eclipses my own manual ability, then at that point I will need to offload this to the workflow tool. The other task is trying to figure out whether so I think I'm using an open source model for this. Will a paid model be better? That's the next question, and is it worth it, right? Because I think that's probably going to cost some tokens, right? So that's another thing. So that's going to take some time. I love this part. I don't know if you can see this. Hopefully you can see this, but it's showing the moments it selected, and it has it's given summaries of those moments. I'm not sure why it has multiple repeated numberings here, but we're gonna judge that at the end. So this is a tool I am working on. Yeah. So I'm gonna let that keep working. I'm gonna let that keep working for a bit. Just gonna keep iterating on some of my ideas and getting them out there. Might just be more local host for a bit, or I could actually just pick one where I'm the most passionate about, and then see where things go. But this is for a relatively new path in my channel. I'm not even sure the algorithm knows who my audience is, so we'll see. Let's see how this goes. All right, so it takes a bit. But that's okay. There's a lot going on, right? This is quite a bit of data that it's got to crunch through. 4K videos, right? We're not talking about just like 700 resolution, or 300 or 240, right? We're talking about 4K. So, and even at that, I don't think it takes up to 5 minutes or more than 10 minutes. But that's not bad. Whereas before, individually creating the shorts would take me something like 5 to 7 minutes just to make sure that everything looks good, review, edits. I would like to cut that time significantly. I'm gonna wait for that and see how that's looking. Yeah, so I have some ideas uh that I've written down and would like to try in the future. I also have to really make sure that I'm not just throwing resources into things people aren't going to use. So it might make sense to um, focus on me for now, right? And really find if I can wait for the algorithm to discover an audience, all while I'm just building things that I find super helpful. Okay, so it looks like it's now converting. This is going to be interesting. So there are 15 clips in type mode. Interesting choice. Oh, incredible AI agent. All right. Awesome, awesome. This might take a while. I think I've been thinking lately about radical self-belief and confidence, right? Because especially with the earlier identity engineering things that I was, working through and bringing up, really this idea that the energy you project to the world reflects back on you, right? Even the unconscious energy. That's been something that's been a key takeaway. The posture you produce really reflects back on you. So the person who thinks they can and the person who thinks they cannot, as trite and cliche as that sounds, is so powerful, right? Because self-perception can really limit your destination, your direction, right? Or enhance it or expand it, right? And so sometimes you just have to believe that something's possible and you just go for it, right? Even if nothing comes of it, the journey is what matters. And so these clips are still going. This is gonna take a bit. I'm gonna have to think about how to make this faster and optimized. In the meantime, I'm gonna pivot here. I'm gonna pivot live. I had that wait list going on, so I might just deploy and have a different UI. Not entirely sure what's going on with my history these days. It's seeming harder and harder to find things, but here we go. So this is going to require some rework. Looks like this is still online. Loving this. Okay. We're going to come over here and we're going to request a, first of all, is this deployed, right? That's the other thing. I'm just gonna rely on my agents. Is the latest waitlist code deployed? If we push the GitLab, if we update the project and the app itself, and the web app itself. All right, I'm gonna let it simmer on that a bit. Okay. So what I've done is allowed Claude to have, this project space and allow it to do whatever it wants in there, right? Rather than saying, hey, cd into this directory, or move into this directory, basically, and then Claude, you have access to this directory, move into this directory. No, at the project level, access, create new apps as you see fit. And then the next step is for this waitlist app, right? We're going to be adding new projects, whether they have a cloud component or a or it's just a demo, right? So if it's not live, right, we'll still put it here as some kind of a portfolio. And I think that's what we should be doing. We should be using GitHub, GitLab. We're truly building public. There should be different strategies. I don't know what other people are doing out there, but those are different strategies. You could just build a lot online, but I think a good way to do this is just to document what you're doing in this kind of format, right? And then potentially have an app that you can kind of demonstrate different things on there. Okay, so this is what's come back. It says here, not fully up to date. There are 3 issues: unpushed commits, massive amount of unstaged, massive amounts, deployed state unknown, in short, no, the latest code. Let's fix that. Okay, so this is getting a bit annoying, right? I can see why the owner of BridgeMind and some of these other individuals who are really pushing this agentic public building have kind of opted to build an orchestrator, because I'm already getting tired of typing everything I want. I should be able to say it, right, and then have it have that central intelligence kind of pass that down to some downstream agents to do the work for me. Yeah, I'm just gonna let the agents kind of work with this for a bit. All right. While that is working, let's go ahead and check on, I feel like I'm on a cooking show. While that is cooking, let's check on our, okay, see? So we assembled 13 shorts, and of course, we were able to get them down, get them all finished. All right, so going to test out these shorts now and see what kind of stuff we can expect. I think the naming could be better, because if we want to do any kind of upload, I still need to manually get the names and update them. So we're gonna figure that out soon. Let's take a look at this. All right, let's see. Name the person who does BridgeMind. I like that it stays in motion. I should probably do that because I work, work and I sit most of the day. So this will be taking its toll if I don't take some time to be moving about. I might get one of those and just be walking. I don't have a standing there. No excuse, no excuse. Interesting. And this was 34 seconds. You probably need more time and better context. About agentic coding, especially for these kind of personal projects, right, is that we have the opportunity to be token maximalists, right? Code. Some people say code is cheap, but it depends on who is using it. If you're an enterprise developer, code is cheap as long as you have the right structures in place. Otherwise, you're creating slop, and slop is tech debt, and tech debt is expensive. If you have to go back and you have to go through spaghetti code, then yeah, that's a problem. Okay, not bad. I would actually say pretty good for 2 hours of work yesterday. Where you go, right? Sky's the limit. Along the way, we'll just be thinking about the process, thinking about what it takes to be a founder, to iterate rapidly, just build, just keep building, right? Velocity is everything, whether you're talking about money, whether you're talking about talent, identity, right? Velocity is the secret because people who move fast are able to cover a lot of surface area, whether internally or externally. Same principles apply. Interesting. To really have better structure for, I mean, I'm sure that we're able to do it better than humans eventually, right? And our place would be more to be architect. Saying, here's the house, fill it. Right? Here's the idea, create it. So it becomes a tool, the way the calculator became a tool. And so I'm hoping, though, that today we can start in the first act. I actually had this idea just as soon as the live stream started, and I took some time to write it down. Right as the live stream started, actually. Yeah, so I'm going to try that. Doesn't have to be, maybe it will be a web app, but it'll be nice if it could be a web to really have better structure for, I mean, I'm sure that we're able to do it better than humans eventually, right? And our goal, our place would be more. Very interesting. Okay, just reviewing that. I think for a first try, I would say that was not bad. Could have been a whole lot worse. There's room for music. There's room for updating the title, right? So yeah. So I mean, if I wanted to upload these right to YouTube Shorts, then I would need, I would get this blob of title data there, and I would have to manually go and fix that. So I want to update that. Maybe not have 2026 520, maybe, and that's other string after it, which is probably the timestamp, but or the time it was created. I don't know what that information represents, but I would say just give me a simple text, no dashes or underscores, that I could just use as the main title, unless there's some kind of extra information or description field, right? Which I don't think there is. Yeah, so that's the only thing I'll iterate upon, and then just request. Yeah, just request that it be. Yeah, that the title is pretty good. I could iterate on it, but honestly, I think that I just want to see how it goes, how the algorithm treats it. And the algorithm is like, what the heck is this? I'm not giving you audiences for this, right? And then in that case, we pivot, right? But it definitely beats me doing it manually. Okay. Okay, so it did some unit test checking. And push set. All right. So I think with these I can probably um, upload them afterwards. But I'm probably sorry, wrong screen. So with these shorts now created, I can probably upload them. So this is something that anyone can do, right? And you can just iterate. I just don't have the desire to do too much in terms of the detail of it, right? I mean, things we can continue to iterate until we get it perfectly. But right now, what I need is volume. What I need is automation, right? In terms of that manual road task of creating shirts that I had to do before. And really just making sure that we can automate the upload. And I think there's a limit to avoid throttling. I don't know if it's throttling. I think it's more of like there's a limit for the YouTube API. So I'm going to explore that either during this live or offline. So I am just going to say, okay, so I mean, why is, all right, let's come over here. Why is this taking so long? It says both background commits are still running. The front end test suite is still executing. That should not take that long. Is anything stalling? Make sure your timeouts, unit tests should be super fast. Yeah, like the unit test should take what, like 20 seconds? Yeah. So yeah, we just have to keep building. We have to keep moving to new space. So I think everyone's trying to figure out where they land in this age of growing velocity of knowledge and innovation, right? And there's no sign of slowing down, right? The repercussions are probably for smart people to think about. It affects the whole world, to be honest. Sorry, just a long day. It affects the whole world, but similar to the atomic bomb, right? I think people just need to really consider and continue to put safeguards in mind as they continue to push. I think this is something. Of course, this is something like none other, like we've never seen before. But that's beyond the scope of this agentic programming aspect, right? You have all these companies pushing for AGI, right? They need to be yeah, see, that was it, right? Instead of waiting forever, you just have to ask, like, this should this be taking forever? No, there's something hogging the event loop. Should be sharing my screen here. All right, so here we are. Let me push my camera back. Oh. I need to get some music in here so that we can always have something to vibe to. The time is coming where we're going to be doing everything with tokens. I guarantee you. If AI is going to be kind of throwing its tentacles into various domains of life, right, then token usage is going to become a human language, right? It has to be, right? I mean, we can keep it machine on a machine centric basis, but I absolutely believe that at some point, and I'm starting to think that maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. It's a prediction. right? At some point, someone's going to say, oh, okay, this set of tokens is a unit of human work, right? And here's a dollar value or a currency value to it. And next thing you know, those are bridged, right? Okay, so what about deployment? If I have to type this thing again, yeah, I'm gonna begin to work on an orchestrator to talk to that will kind of handle all of these. Yep. Okay. Get current from outputs to see what's deployed. Absolutely. Actually, I can just check myself. Let me see. I refreshed and I didn't see any changes. Gotta keep building. Gotta keep building. Never stop. Right? Just keep growing. Has there been any like actual recorded individuals who went from 0 to unicorn level on a variety of application? I know I've seen like small groups of people who are already like creating code, right? And from start to finish, just shipping things right away. I feel like to get to that point where you can burn through 1 million tokens, you need funding, right? You need an investor of some sort, right? It's just not gonna happen on a $20 subscription, unless you're Tony Stark, right? Because I remember that movie where I think it was the first movie, right? When Obi, funny enough, I'm Obi too. I'm not the villain here. But where I remember when Obi was yelling at the scientist, and he was like, "Why can't you make this smaller?" Right? And he's like, "Tony did this in a cave," right? And the guy's like, "I'm not Tony Stark," right? So if there's any Tonys out there who can build a $1 billion SaaS product with a $20 Claude subscription, that would be kind of awesome. And somebody mentioned though that Tony Stark basically working with Jarvis, not Java, Jarvis. He has like infinite amount of tokens, right? He just built this thing, this model locally that consumes so much tokens endlessly, just infinite, and whatever he requests, the only thing that is required is power, right? So being able to exist in his laboratory. But yeah, the agent is just helping him build whatever his imagination can build, and of course, Tony is pretty smart to build that for himself. So let's look at this really quickly. Good news: infrastructure is almost fully in sync. Okay, blah blah blah. We did some security hardening, and I think that's what a lot of people who are vibe coding need to be fully aware of: is interrogate your AI, right? Have a list of absolute deal breakers for deployment, right? And then interrogate your AI. Do what you would do as an engineer, right? Think about the security posture. Think about your scalability, right? And bake that into your prompt, right? And continue to request that. I didn't even need to request it, but I think it knows that I'm prioritizing that, and it's trying to do that. It says there are also 2 separate deployment steps, right? Terraform apply a TLS change, rebuild the front end. Want me to run both? Yeah, why not? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so the other thing, for the short creator, okay, content switching here. For the shorts creator, I don't like that the shorts video names are full of necessary data. I want these to have a unique name created by the LLM and will be populated well with the intention of later uploading and not having to update the title of the shorts with YouTube. Okay. Figure out what they, okay, create highly viral thumb titles from the LLM and prepend title with day number from the original video if it exists. Otherwise, just use new shorts title. Remove unnecessary timestamp, dates, time, and IDs in the shorts video. All right. So we're going to do some CD scripting. So working about the shorts creator and the waitlist application. All right. I'm going to go ahead and work on. Going to do some jumping jacks. Oh, okay. I should make that a challenge. I'm gonna lose some weight before my visitor arrives. Gotta become a bit more fit. I've always been the optimist for AI at the enterprise level. I've always been an optimist for AI at the enterprise level. Even in the startup world, I never bought the whole layoff thing. I had this thought that layoff where people were saying it was AI, but I didn't believe it. I didn't buy it. I thought it was a lack of vision from a leadership perspective, right? Just throwing people away because of AI, I think was a very bad move. And I think the more correct thing was they overhired. They were competing for talent, right? And just absorbing as much as possible with their ridiculous valuation, and they had to cut the fat afterwards, right? But the point being, it takes vision, right? You have this new technology, and I think the person who articulated that the best, even though I still I do agree that it's hard to believe and trust the person that's selling the shovel, right, during a gold rush. But I did agree with Jensen that this idea that there are new problems to solve, right? And this tool helps us do that. So by cutting people away, you're cutting new ways of solving problems. The person that these groups may have laid off may have had just the right mind to be able to see the problem at hand, to solve that problem. right? Ooh, let me show you guys this. Oh, okay. This is what I'm talking about. Now, this looks good. I don't know, like obviously there's some things I need to do with the UI, enough of these emojis, but I think this is starting to look like what I was thinking, right? Where you have a waitlist that shows all of the apps. You have a coming soon section. Now this is something I'm excited to see, right? You have some early access, right, for people who want to join the waitlist, right? You have things that are available now, so they can just go ahead and go to that place, right? Even some of this have some interesting ideas. I might to build some of these. That's funny. Very interesting. Ooh. Okay, so I didn't expect that, but why not? Why not build some of those things? But this is exactly what I'm looking for, right? Ooh. Yeah, yeah. This was one I was thinking about, but I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of ideas, a lot of. It doesn't matter. It's something I'm interested in. I like that though, right? So you record voice memos that are automatically transcribed, summarized, and organized into actionable insights. So yeah, um, that's what a waitlist should look like. I think, right? And I can just keep adding different projects here, right? And for things, oh, it even has categories. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Let's see if it has if it's responsive. Let's look at, oh, that is gorgeous right there. There we go. I like that. I like that. Very responsive. Wow. See? I can see why people think that engineers are screwed. Can you sign in? You can sign in with Google. You can use your username and password. I'll test that later. There's admin access, right? I don't know what this means though. Oh gosh, that is so hilarious. Oh man, this is so bad. Let me see. What does this look like? Now that is hilarious. Oh my goodness. All right. Update the admin side to not have admin password. We are live demoing, not a secure posture. And does the Google login work? Or will we need to do that? Okay, yeah, yep. I'm already feeling the limitation from typing. I should just be able to articulate my ideas, and have the agent start running that for me. Okay, so let's take a look at so I'm working on two ideas. I'm working on the wait list and it's turning out beautiful. I'm actually pretty impressed, right? And the second thing that I'm working on is this shorts creator. I'm trying to solve my own pain points as well, right? Because I want to keep things as low cost as possible and still be somewhat effective, right? So it says here, everything looks clean. Here's a summary of what changed, right? Prompt now, ask the LLM for a highly viral YouTube Shorts title. That probably never works, but we'll see. Remove the datetime import and timestamp from the file names, add extract day number matches, blah, blah, blah. Ooh, nice, nice, nice. No more source system, index date, or time. Does it say anything about removing no hashtags? Why can't it include? Okay, because of the the title. No. Okay, no, that's fine. It should be good. It should be good that way. All right, so I'm gonna delete all of these, and I'm going to request. I'm gonna request that this be done again. So maybe we come back to this and continue to improve on it. Yep. We're gonna do the tight edit. There was something I noticed though about this. There's something I noticed. So when I was playing videos, right, that the shorts were creating, I was noticing that there was like this lag, right? I don't know what it was, like where it was getting trimmed. I'll review it again, but where it was getting trimmed, I was noticing that there would be a little lag before the video would catch up to the audio. So we're gonna take a look at that again. We're at the 15-minute mark. I'm gonna keep this. I guess we're just having so much fun that, you know, we're about to get past the 1 hour mark. So what are we gonna do now? Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go to the recycling bin. I'm gonna review that one more time. Oh. Anybody watch anything cool on Netflix lately? Anyone has a preferred streaming platform? I heard Peacock is good, but mainly good because of The Office. Okay, let's go ahead and... Oof, that's not what I meant to do. Okay. Okay, so I did did delete. I wanted to test that. I wanted to see what was wrong with these shorts. So this is day three. Day three. Gotta be excited. I should be. Gotta be excited. I should be moving. Day three. Yeah, there it is. So we're gonna try to confront that. So let's see if the agent can help us with this problem. So I noticed in the shorts, let me make sure that I can articulate the problem well. So this is day three. Gotta be excited. I should be moving. I forget his name. The person who does bridge mine. I like that he stays in motion. I should probably do that because I work. Work and I sit most of the day, so this will be taking its toll if I don't take some time to be moving about. Okay, so I noticed in the short video created, during the clipping to concatenate timestamps or to remove empty space, the video lags a bit. Can you fix this? Let's come over here. What is going on here? Done. What's the prompt? Yeah, I don't even remember the prompt. Oh, okay, yeah, let's start with the password. Okay, come on. It's interesting because when we start thinking about an orchestrator, then we have to do these things in YOLO mode, and we need to specifically say, do anything you want to do within this project space, right? And Yeah. Is for the admin. For the admin, keep the login connected. Interesting. Okay, what do we want to do here, right? The admin login. Right to the username and password. And behind the scenes, let the database determine who is. That's something we can do with super. We can email accounts manually and add or revoke their database. Here, let my email be an admin. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and switch context here. All right, so there might be other things that we can do here for now, but we're gonna keep things focused, right? I think the captions are decent. We can continue to update the captions later, but right now I just want to see. Oh, this is so bizarre. Let me see if I can show that on the screen. I could have sworn that this creature just blinked at me. I don't know if it was just a twinkle of the eye. Oof. Okay. Okay. So, ooh, gotta stay energetic. Oof. Not doing this full time, obviously. So I can imagine I am running on the energy that's left, but you gotta stay energetic. If you're not an energetic person, this is tough, right? Some people have all of the energy and then they crash at the end of the day. I've got like a slow burn of energy. Just sometimes I just have random energy for no reason at all. Like when you'd expect me to be exhausted, I just have all this energy. It's great. Takes my wife by surprise. Yeah, so I can't wait to build all of these products, right? I think I like the idea because I'm a very high level person. That's why I prefer to be just using my imagination. That's why I enjoyed thoroughly world building and storytelling. So the idea that agents can kind of move you into this product director position in relation to the code and the product you're creating, or at least an architect, if you're trying to be more of the agentic engineer. The vibe coder, most likely more on the product side. Agentic engineer, more architect, right? And so depending on where you are. Okay, cool. Here we go. So what did we do? What did the AI do? It said, here's what was wrong and what's changed. The old code used the concat demux or whatever the heck that is, right? With endpoint out points to stitch speech segments together. This works at the container level, right? FFmpg seeks to each endpoint by jumping to the nearest keyframe. So when a cut boundary doesn't land exactly on a keyframe, the reencoder receives B frames referencing frames it never saw, producing freeze frame glitches. Interesting. Okay, so some kind of dangling pointer thing going on. Okay, that at least that's what I would like to interpret that in a different language. So the fix replaced with trim a trim. Okay, filter chain resets each segment's timestamp to start at 0 before the concat filter joins them. Since cuts happen on decoded frames rather than at the container seek points, every boundary is perfectly clean regardless of where keyframes fall. I feel like that leader in the org that like is being told this explanation from an engineer and is like, yeah, just tell me that it works. And they figured it out. All right, so let's go back here. We are going to run the shorts creator again. We're going to select the video to process. I'm going to set a timer, see how long this takes. We're going to go to clock. We're going to start the timer when I say proceed with this video. I think I need to select some other option. Burn caption into clips. Yes. And then, of course, a tight edit. Okay, perfect. Started the clock. And we're going to see how things progress. Okay, I'm just going to see how long this takes to run. So I'm just going to let that keep running, and I'm just going to talk to y'all really quickly. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Go ahead and be building your ideas depending on your experience, and don't let your experience limit you, right? This is me trying to encourage anyone who might be watching this video in the future, right? Don't let your experience or lack thereof to in any way inhibit you. Like, some people have the experience, and it's very possible that that experience is hindering them from getting with the program, right? Right. And I think just being intentional matters, right? I think the AI era can be, especially for engineering, can be interpreted in another way, which is don't wait for, sorry, let me go ahead and respond to this. So it can be interpreted this way, right? You have freedom. You have freedom of choice, right? And that's powerful. If you enjoy getting your hands dirty with code, right? And really learning programming languages and talking directly with the compiler that talks to the machine code. If that's the layer of abstraction that you are comfortable with, right? Or want to maintain and not outsource in your personal time, do it, right? I say do what makes you happy. That's the power of freedom, right? As long as you're not hurting someone, as long as you're not hurting a business, right? There are still businesses that don't want people using AI, right? I just learned that like last month, right? And the strategy looks like this. Automate everything, right? Never use AI for repeated tasks. Once you have figured out, once you've figured out what you're going to build and you use AI to build it, or you build it yourself, you just immediately create a script, right? But the idea is, why don't use AI constantly for the same things over and over again? It's a probabilistic outcome, right? You get the outcome you like, scriptify that, if that's even a word. Like, create a script out of it so that you only have to do that one time, right? So you only have to talk to the agent once. You've got your solution, you create it into a script, embed it where you need to be, where you need it to be, right? Whether it's in a tool that's global for everyone to use or for yourself to use, right? Or it's a tool that's within your code, right? So I thought that was cool. I was talking to a mentor about this. A mentor was talking to me about this from his experience, and it was a very powerful lesson, right? In some ways, agents are already doing that, right? Right? So they have the ability to do tool calls, right? But still, why not just be able to do it yourself? So all of that to say is there's freedom now, right? The problem before was that you needed all of this expertise to get an idea out there, right? You know the typical idea person, right? That's blowing up Reddit with, I have an idea, I need an engineer, or somebody is asking you, hey, you're an engineer, can you build this app idea for me? Like, no, bro, that took so long that my time is expensive. But now no one has an excuse. You should, if you're a software engineer, no one should be coming to you saying, hey, I have an app idea, can you build it for me? No. They should prototype it first. They've got the tools now. They don't need your expertise. Your time's expensive. And I think if engineers learn to value their time and who they are, right, then they would not feel like they won't feel insecure about this new tool coming up. It's like saying mathematicians got phased out because of the calculator. It's like saying, right, that because we invented calculus, like we don't need mathematicians. That's not a good idea. But because we invented the abacus, we invented the calculator, right? We invented the computer, that we don't need mathematicians anymore. No, mathematicians just realized they are more valuable, and they shifted their efforts from numbers to more abstract ideas. This is so key, right? That's why they're even more complicated today. They're more valued today than at the beginning, right? They're not doing anything rudimentary anymore, right? Because this has been sent to and offloaded, like the numerical addition and subtraction and division has been abstracted towards this machine that handles it for them, so that they can think symbolically. They can think on a higher level, right? And I think the same thing can be said about engineers, right? So the place where an engineer comes into play is when this individual out there, this founder out there, right, with their idea, and they think it's so easy, so they're like, hey, I need an engineer. You just tell them, I can take you to these tools, prototype, get the what do you call it, get the market's response, right? Potentially get some investor, right, with your demo, and then come back to me, right? Because I don't want to invest my time in something that I'm not fully invested in, right? I don't believe in, right? And unless the idea itself sells me directly, right, to the point that I think it's worth my time investment, you need to show me, because I can't just take your word for it, unless the person is truly charismatic and you just believe like they are one of those reality morphing individuals. So my workflow tool is processing in the background. I'm updating the admin page for the waitlist because that was a security problem. The admin page just open there, and with the password to it. So embarrassing. So embarrassing. On the live demo too. Yeah. Thank goodness we're not that big yet. So yeah, I think so. I was speaking to the engineers now, right? Your time is so valuable, and you should see it that way. Your skill sets should be shifting, right? It doesn't mean you can't do the things you love anymore. It just means you need to now focus on where the value is going, right? and you'll find your passion in the evolving space. Software is evolving, right? Once upon a time, it was assembly. Once upon a time, it was C sharp, right? Or that's not what I'm looking for. It was Fortran. It was COBOL. It became JavaScript. It became TypeScript. It became Java, right? It became Python. And now it's the English language. And so it's the human language because it's not just English. And so for that reason, no excuse, right? Your part to play if you want to take the engineering role is someone comes to you and they've completed all of those steps before they come to you. If not, tell them to go take the tools, purchase a simple tool, and build the app, right? Otherwise, your part to play, if you just want to be a strict engineer, your part to play is to ensure that when they have this validated idea with all the market, all the green light from the market, right? Maybe even investor interest, and it's moved you past just blind faith to, okay, there's some evidence here. It's not wishful thinking. It's there's some real results. This can really change our lives, really help communities or our customers. Okay, then your job is to put on your engineering hat and say, okay, I've got all this agentic stuff. Maybe this person has given me this code slot that they needed to do because they needed to prove this with a prototype or an MVP. How do I translate this into something scalable, something secure, something that can actually welcome user payments, welcome better scrutiny, right, as we try to scale, right, handle the pressure of scaling, right? How do we have clean code in case we need a human? Like, we've got to think about the relationship between human and machine, right? And how do we structure the code base so that things like we can both we and the machine can scan through and make decisions, right? How do we create automated loops so that we can close down issues as quickly as possible as soon as they arrive, right? So these are the kinds of things that an engineer would be looking to do. It needs to type in a password. Looks like our shirts are complete. Okay. Before that, I need to type in a password. Ooh. Yeah, so I hope my large speech encouraged someone. I know a lot of people who during the hype phase, we were probably still in the hype phase of the AI era, were kind of getting a bit discouraged, right? And I think the best approach is to just learn what you can about AI and where you fit in and what your unique value is. And you may not even know that for a while, but keep moving, move with faith, right? And keep building too. Like if you have the opportunity, build, because maybe that's what you should be doing, right? And especially if you can do it in public, right? So people can know who you are, what you offer, and what you're capable of doing. And that's the best advice I can give to any junior. Like, build in public, take about 15 to 30 minutes every single day, right? I don't think lead code is going to be a big deal in the next 5 years. Maybe for very strict interview processes. But we really need to rethink how we measure agency in the age of software, of machine learning software engineering, right? AI powered software engineering. right? So I will continue to talk on that. But even like at the end of last year, um, uh, it's like in the middle of last year, before a lot of this stuff started becoming super useful, right? A lot of, when I say this stuff, I mean like the agents became super smart, right? At least were became more mainstream. Like we already knew ChatGPT was a thing, but um, I didn't, at least at an enterprise level, didn't really see the. That's not good. Let me get. Okay, looks like everything. Okay. Um, yeah. So what was I saying? So in the middle of last year, right? Even then, I was, I think there was already some concern that wow, these agents um, can write this much code, and the accuracy was increasing month over month, right? And I saw that as an opportunity, and I remember talking to the VP at my org, and I was like, VP of tech at my org, and I was like, I don't think all of these layoffs make any sense. I think it's a lack of vision from, with all due respect, from some of these C-suites and all of these in these upper echelons of the tech industry, right? And I thought it's just a lack of vision, right? We're and people who recognize this will be winners, right? If you can deploy human imagination, it was just a lack of understanding. Instead of just asking the question, really innovating, which is how can we use what we have to chase bigger problems rather than let's cut down as much as possible and solve and go as fast with as little. The question is how can we do even more with the much we have, right? And so I thought that was just a lack of vision on the part of. But then again, it's not easy. So I don't want to blame anybody. It's not an easy thing to accomplish. Okay, so now we're going to explore this and see. I like the titles already. Now this is something you can just upload now and not have to worry, as opposed to all of these timestamp issues. But I'm interested in this one. 12-year-old will build the next billion-dollar app. Like, exciting times, exciting times, exciting times. Let's see how this goes. A 12-year-old can build an app, right, without not knowing how to code, right? Once upon a time, you needed to be a coding prodigy. Now you don't, right? And I know for a fact someone out there is going to make a $1 billion company from just by coding, if it hasn't already been done. So who knows? Maybe from one of these app ideas that I'm going to keep iterating over, we might have our first cubicle. So exciting times, exciting times, exciting. I'll give that anything big. I'll give. Ooh, choking live. Don't need Heimlich. So I give that's a significant improvement. If the other one was 2 out of 10, this is like 5 out of 10 in my opinion. Not perfect, not up to where I think it could be with human delicate care, but in terms of automation and reducing my time, this is pretty good. You believe small, you get small things back. You believe big, you get big things back. To see how this goes. Yeah, so while the agent is running through all of that, there's quite a bit of ideas that I have that I just want to build publicly. That's the purpose of this, right? Get people's opinions, to get some ideas to, and hopefully get some support, because I do want to build. One of the things that I want to do is to build my own version of like a Jarvis orchestrator or harness, right? That kind of with voice control updates and sets up agents, right? Is it useful? Some people think it is. I just think it's fun, and the purpose of this, part of this. Okay, it looks like it cut off some of the text. So that's another thing. All right, so we're gonna come over here. We're gonna finish this off by saying, reviewed one of the shorts, noticed that it didn't complete an idea or a sentence, and we make sure we are not cutting off the mid sentence as much as possible. Okay, so I'm gonna request that to be fixed, but that we don't even need to worry about that. This I think is pretty good enough. I'll look outside of this live. I'm gonna look through all of the other ones. I'm just gonna quickly upload them. The next phase would be to create the part that does the uploading, right? So we'll see. That would be a very interesting thing, because then truly I can be off. I can truly be hands off. So who knows where this journey would take? It's good to just start and just start working. And of course, shout out to the other folks. There's this guy that's building in public until he can build his buy his family a house or something. Love the vision. Love where it's taking. Like, it's coming from a good place, right? And that kind of vision can push someone, attract other people's attention, right? I wonder if someone's gonna say vibe coding until I take over the world. That'll be very interesting. Okay, so we are gonna take one more look. Let's take a look at the waitlist and see what changes have been made. Okay, we still have the sign in. Perfect. We have the admin access. It would be great if it just knows. I don't know why it's doing that, but it would be great if it just realizes that it doesn't need to have it doesn't need to have two different sign-in. That's kind of silly in my opinion. The second thing is the second thing. Whoops. The second thing is from a UI perspective, but this is so minimal that I don't want to invest too much time into this, is this idea of being able to, like, this I think should be a modal, an overlay. Let's see what it looks like in mobile. Okay, that's not too bad, but ideally, let's say I click the sign in, right? I should be able to just hit exit or click outside, but I've got to go back. I don't feel like that's a really good user experience. Okay, so this is a wait list, right? And this is kind of like requesting other people to join the wait list. I've also created my the app that allows me to update the to create shorts, and I love that idea. I also like to work on some of these projects because they actually sound cool, and it'll be nice to get people to try them. What I wanted to do also is, so in addition to status and category, probably have something more that's like pay, or so the ones that are paid, the ones that are just things that people can install for free, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, so this is day five. Wearing this jacket, it's kind of cold, but this is day 5, and the journey never stops. I've seen people go 100+ days, and just where they are is pretty insane. And there are things you will learn along the way, right? This is what I know at the moment, and I do some of this kind of stuff at work too. So it's kind of different, right? This is more laid back, right? That one has definite super serious repercussions. So, but it's kind of cool to be working at this level. And I think if in the future I get some kind of funding, I'd like to truly upgrade some of this and really explore what's possible, right? Really begin to test out things at the bleeding edge, because we can get there. We can do this, right? I truly believe now that all you need is imagination, access to these tools, and you can begin to innovate in the space you're in, right? And you can choose what abstraction layer. So no one should feel insecure about who has access now. It just means, for example, if you're an engineer, I truly believe this, as an engineer, your value has increased. Maybe the market's lagging to it, but your time is so valuable, right? That you want to make sure that you're guarding that time and continue to invest in these agents and really building, right? Keeping your institutional knowledge as well by doing the practicing, the programming, the leak code, whatever you want to do, right? Whatever you're excited about, the architecture, the design, the design systems, the design methodologies, but anything that your heart's desire, right? And say that's my level of expertise. That's what I bring to the table, right? In case you join a startup or join a new venture. So that is it. My name is Obi. Building in public, going from 0 to this title constantly changes until I stick to one, right? It was a 100K MRR. It was $1 million, and now it is 1 million users. So we're gonna see where this goes. Take care, okay? Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys in the next one.